So I must say that Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is a very good work because the whole of the book is invaluable and everyone can attest to that. But particularly the 13th chapter, Sixth Sense, is also very relevant because the sixth sense is like the author said, it made us realize that it's the creative imagination of a person. So in essence, what I tried to tell us or to tell the reader is the fact that after because Think and Grow Rich from him is just like a philosophy which it feels anyone who buys into it, who belongs to that school of thought should excel at what he or she does. So he has now taken those principles. Final one is that sixth sense that we're talking about, and it is about the subconscious. So according to him, it is just like it is something that one attains. Like
Wow,
it is not
that is
something that you can make happen. It's a gradual thing. Okay, you have to graduate to that level. You have to apply other principles from the first one to the 12th one. So after mastering those ones, then the 13th one will come by itself over time. So you get to mature to that level. So, and when we look at him, the way he narrates his personal experience, talking about the his counselors, the imaginary counselors, for instance, like when you look at them, he tries to, think the way he wants to be in, like in a circle of such people, and for that reason, he was trying to think the way they would think. He was trying to do things they would do. He was trying to because if he believes that the mind, the subconscious, has the power to do a great things, and it has the power to make happen whatever desires we've got. So when we look at him as well, he narrated a part where he had to walk up to one of them and tell him, "Okay, I saw this happen," and he actually confirmed to him that it was more of a reality than an imagination, meaning that our minds have the subconscious mind has that great ability. So according to him, with the from the content of the book as well, it's just like you know the subconscious, the sixth sense rather, is like should I say something miraculous kind of. So people who possess it and people who make use of it very well, sometimes we refer to them as this one is a guru, this one is a witch, oh, this is a witch of this a like we call them such names because they have that intuition. They have that okay, use the word hunch. So they have the hunch that okay, this will happen. And most of the times, according to him, they are always very correct. The guesses, the suggestions, the predictions are always very correct. So and it gives them an edge over other people. It gives them an edge over others. Say, for instance, they have competitors, they have contemporaries, they have, colleagues. So they will always have an edge over them because their minds, their minds is just like it is inclined to what they do, and they think about it. Their mind works for the cause. If it is a business, the mind works for the business, and you know, it gives them. They always have that the inspiration, that inspiration, and when they have that inspiration, they act upon it. So you mentioned that it lets you know when an opportunity is about to come and what to do about it. when something that is also something, maybe something that might not work for you is about to, you know, come up, and you know how to, prevent it or do something about it. So that hunch is what, the sixth sense is what the writer is talking about in this part of the book. And personally, I would say, or I believe that, when I consider that part of his counselors and, the meetings and everything, I realized that our subconscious mind has a very great tendency to achieve the impossible. Because when you look at his conversation, his discourse with the counselors, for instance, they are not the ones saying those things. Those things are actually coming from his own mind, and they worked for him. They and It is not about any of them. It is about him. So it means all those thoughts, all those ideas, all the everything, they actually came from him. There is ideas, there is thoughts, there it is his own intelligence, in short. So it means we have that ability. The subconscious mind has a very great power to achieve so much. However, we have to it is not something that you expect to happen like in a flash. It is a gradual thing that one graduates to, or how should I say, mature. So it is a form of entrenchment. The one will be entrenched, and that entrenchment is what guides one's actions, guides one's thoughts, and makes the desires uh come to life. So that is one thing that I actually came to realize after reading that part. Then to I would like to suggest, or should I say, my recommendation would be that we shouldn't, like, this thing might not actually come to everyone like so easily like that, or should I say it's not something that can come within a flash. Like, it's a gradual thing, and we have to let it take the time, so that one will not, you know, get it wrong, or do go about it the wrong way, or misconstrue the concept, the principle, in totality. So that is that would be my recommendation in short. And well, finally, I would say, like, what is said in that part, actually, like the sixth sense is, like he also said, and if we also look around, we have people who we look up to, like, this person is this person is that, and you know when we look at them, we see that one of the things pushing them, or one of the things driving them, or one of the reasons why they are where they are and who they are, is because of this sixth sense that we're talking about in this chapter of the book. So, with the way the author said it, it said it made us on this. It said it's a creative imagination. So we should also I also implore us to make more use of our subconscious mind. We should think more. We should, you mentioned meditations as well. So we should always think things through very well before taking action, so that our decisions will always work for us, and will always get the best out of whatever it is we do. So at this point, I'll say thank you very, very much for this.
Thank you so much, Abdul, for that review. Please confirm that you're done. Hi, Abdul.
Hello.
I can hear you. Yeah, I think it's confirmed that you're done. I think thank you so much for that review.
Yeah.
Like, are you saying something? Sorry, I can't hear you.
No, 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 no.
Okay. Thank you so much for that review. And I mean, I think in this chapter of the book, Napoleon Hill said something that is important for us to basically understand and make sure we have a, how will I put it, understand and go back to read all of the first 12, I mean, the first 12 steps to reach, which is before, I mean, coming back to this chapter, because, like Abdul said, it's, one thing about this book is your, using your sixth sense, your subconscious mind, um, which is your creative imagination. They also refer to as your creative imagination. And something that he said in one, something that Napoleon said in this book, your invisible counselors. I think Napoleon used that a lot, and had people that he in his life that he looked up to and imagined himself being with them and telling them his problems so that that way they could, I mean, offer him like advice. He What he did basically was to understand each of those people. I think each of those people, um and basically um imagined the sort of response they could give in all of those problems he was discussing with them. So basically, this chapter of the book just tells us that, I mean, we should have people in our life basically that we look up to. It could be our parents, it could be mentors in our lives that, I mean, that could help us on this, people that we look up to, that maybe they sort of do things and they've excelled so much in things that we see ourselves doing, right? So we see them as mentors and we try to look up to them. We go to them and, I mean, for advice as to how to navigate some certain parts in our lives and all of that. I think that was also one thing that Napoleon was saying in this chapter. Um, People, we should look up to people that have done great things, whether within our community or within our nation, people that have excelled at various sectors, people that we can look up to. So I think that was something that he was saying. It could be anybody basically. Then one thing again that's about that Abdul was also mentioning is how can we see ourselves emulate what they do, people that we look up to, what are the things that they've done, what that they've excelled in, and how can we, what are the things that we need to do to ensure that I mean, we part those ways. Basically, we excel at what we do, or maybe, for example, it could be our career wise. We could have mentors, people that, I mean, that have excelled in the career world, and we want to look up to them as mentors. What are the basically the things that we would say that we can um we can do different to make sure that we live up to what they've done or even exceed. What are the things that we need to do differently? So I think that's one thing that Napoleon Hill was trying to say in this chapter. And he talked about building character, self-suggestion. Please, if you want to, I mean, contribute, please feel free to raise up your hand at this point. He talked about building character, so your self-consciousness, as in a stronger character in building auto-suggestion by dominating thoughts and all. So it also tells us that we should also try to have positive thoughts, try to think of things positive, have basically try to have positive thought as opposed to negative thought, because it's what you think or what you build your mind with that sort of forms what you do basically. So basically trying to occupy your mind with positive things Also trying to think through things, like Abdul said, before taking actions. It sort of helps us to navigate this journey of life. That's what Napoleon Hill talks about here. And yeah, but please, who would like to contribute? Who would like to add to what the perfect review that Abdul has given to us in this chapter? Please feel free to raise your hand at this point. Um, and this chapter also talks about auto suggestion.
I'm raising my hand,
Basically,
Mama, just to mention when you're done.
oh, okay, yeah. So basically, just like auto suggestion, basically. So it's about um, basically imagine yourself in a room with people, and just to imagine yourself there. You think of something and you just try to imagine yourself in think of people that you look up to and try to imagine yourself in a room with them and discussing ideas and getting sort of advice from them. That's why it's good to just for us to um they say when you dream about things, that it's good to have a journal, write things down, that it helps and always go back to it. It helps you to plan yourself better and all of that. I think I'll hand over to virtual mic at this point to Pratin. Pratin, please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Foreman. Thank you, Abdul Mumin, for that presentation. Okay, so this is like, not like, this is the last chapter of the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And we've gone through 13 different types of principles to help us. And this last chapter, which is the sixth sense, is pointing to the fact that we need to bring everything that we have learned together as a single principle. And one of the points that Abdul Qadri or Abdul Mumin emphasized, and also Former said, it's about making all of these things into our habits. And what is very clear is this book, though, has a cover to talk about wealth, but the real focus of this book is to build us inside out. This book is making us to understand how our body is configured. It's throwing more light into our intellectual capability, and also introducing emotions, introducing spirituality into the component of human beings. So that as human beings, what we'll be able to do is to understand ourselves beyond the physical being, that you have all other dimensions that you need to consider. And one of the parts that is stressed so much throughout this book is the power of positive thinking. Okay, the power of positive thinking, to say that whatever you feed into your body is whatever you will become. You are basically what, if you want to become rich, you need to feed yourself with the mentality of wealth. If you want to become poor, you need to build that thought of poverty. If you want to be good, so it's basically telling us all of these components, and they are within what we should control. And he said a lot about our subconscious mind, so said a lot about auto-suggestion, said a lot about visualization, creative thinking, imaginative thinking, visualizing things better than the way they are. He talks about the mind as the workshop, how you produce and manufacture stuff from your mind. So he said a lot about that. So at the end of the day, and he also said a lot about mentorship, like former emphasized too. A lot of people today feel that I don't need mentors in my life. I know everything. I can ask Google, I can ask Grok, I can ask Copilot about everything. No, life is not like that. Okay, you have people that have lived life 70 years, 40 years, 50 years, that they are far older than us. Even if their experience is negative, they would have learned one or two things about life. So so he painted this and masked it under what he called the mastermind. So, in all, this book has been very fantastic, very, very good. And I'll plead with every one of us, if you have not read this book, please go back to pick them up. Reading is better, but even if you're not able to read, you might also want to go to our YouTube channel to watch some of the previous editions that we have done. This is the 14th edition on this particular book, and we're also planning to do like a catch up across all the 3 books that we have read. The admins are planning. We hope we're able to come up with something that would also summarize all of these books and the key takeaways. So thank you so much, everyone. Ofuma, back to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kazim, for that. Thank you so much. Just to mention, please don't forget to follow us on our social media handles on YouTube, on on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on X as well. Also, I think next week we'll be having our, yeah. So I think, yeah. So yeah, just to mention, I think it's about 7:59. I don't know if anyone has anything to add before we call it a day. So I think one thing that we should all take out from this, okay, I think one thing that we should all take out from this chapter of this book is the fact that the importance of us having how like to mentors in our lives, people that we look up to. It could be anybody basically, because in this, I mean, we can't. No man is an island on its own, so we all need people in our lives that would sort of help us to navigate. I mean, this journey of life. So like Kazim mentioned, if you've not read any of the previous chapters, please, it used to be a good time for you to also catch up, to review all of, to spend time to review all of the chapters that we have been looking at for the past, I mean, 13 weeks or 14 weeks. So I think at this point, to say thank you everyone for joining. See you same time next week. Enjoy the rest of your day.